Okay, I'll be the one to say it. Most healthcare websites are actually ugly. Good news is that just a few small changes can totally flip the way that customers see you online. So today we are hopping on the trend. We are going to be ranking 10 healthcare websites from S tier being the best all the way to F tier at the worst. And as we go through these, I'm going to share my feedback, and you guys are going to be able to look from over my shoulder at how a healthcare web professional actually identifies websites. So I'm going to be doing a lot of responsiveness testing. I'm going to be looking at the branding. I'm going to be flipping up the hood and seeing how it's built underneath, tracking scripts, data, marketing, design, all the small things that go into making a great website, and I'm going to rank all of these 10 from best to worst. Technically speaking, I have 5 criteria that we're going to rank all these 10 healthcare websites on. Number 1 is positioning and clarity. To someone coming to the website for the first time, do you clearly portray who you are and what's in it for me? How clear is that message? Number 2 is trust and credibility. Does it show customer stories, social proof? Is it earning trust from a visitor that's seeing you online? Number 3 is going to be conversion. Are there focused CTAs? Is there a clear next step? Number 4 is going to be UX, navigation, and information architecture. I know those are a lot of fancy words, but it's basically saying, how easy is the site to navigate? Can I easily go between multiple pages? Does it do a good job of distilling down potentially complex healthcare information into a way that empowers me to go in and dive in deeper? And number 5 is going to be my favorite: design, brand, and visual execution. Does the website feel premium, current, up-to-date, and appropriate for what buyers are seeing online these days? Those are our 5 ranking factors from 1 through 10. Each website gets a score. I'm super excited. First website, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, website number 1 is CompuLink. Okay, so I land on this website, and the first thing that comes to my mind, I have no idea what you really do. Your all-in-one ASC RCM solution, multi-specificity. Oh, we got some text breaking there. Yeah, so much here. So I'm looking at this at a large resolution desktop. It is a 36-inch monitor. So I have a lot of real estate to play with. I'm seeing some wrapping on this top nav here, but just in terms of positioning, this is like a 3 out of 10. You don't tell me who you serve. You claim to be an all-in-one solution. And if I've learned anything in my career in web, is you try to be everything for everyone. You are nothing for no one. Also, learn more as a main CTA that just redirects somewhere else on the page. I am not a fan of. Like, that's not informative, making me opt into learning information that you should already be presenting me with as a visitor. So I'm not a big fan of this. In terms of navigation, not very specific top nav links. Okay, a top nav link that says AI. What do I expect as a visitor when I click into that link? I have no idea where this is going to send me to. So, not a big fan of this at all. Scrolling down, this is a persona page. So this is for multi-specialty companies. We have actually some informative copy here in this bento. Huge schedule a demo button right here that I'm not a big fan of. They mention the types of companies that they serve, but there's no specific solutions cut out for each of them. In terms of trust and credibility, I'm not seeing any signs of social proof here above the fold, or really anywhere on the homepage here as I scroll. So that's a big problem. That is a must solve as of yesterday for CompuLink. Is information organized cleanly, succinctly, and is it easy to bounce between pages on the website? I'll give them a little bit more credit here. I'm not a huge fan of how they don't have actual sections that go into each of their specialty practices. I think a lot of these links are a little bit vague and non-descriptive. Looking at their semantic information here, they do have good heading structure, so credit to them there. The biggest problem is this is a completely vague H1 to have on your website, your all-in-one solution. That could apply to literally any company in the world, and it's not going to do you any favors when it comes to AI or search engines recognizing who to serve your site to. They do have a good job of having their verticals in some of these heading tags. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of descriptive events. Like, these are all very broad. Analytics, resources, videos, webinars, success stories. But I'm not a huge fan of the UX here. In the final category, visuals and brand execution. This is a very generic designed website. They do have good contrast between their 2 main brand colors, but all in all, they do have custom, animations and UX effects here. But all in all, it's very generic. I think AI could definitely design something like this even better, to be honest with you. Right-aligned copy. It's just a very generic, non-trustworthy site. And unfortunately for CompuLink, that's not going to put you anywhere near S tier or A tier. CompuLink, you're going to be stuck at D tier for now. But the good news is we're setting the foundation for a lot of these other companies to do better. So on to the next one, iSalus. Okay, next website is iSalus. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that. But just off the rip here, I'm liking what I see a little bit more. At least we have a smiling face. We know our website is for humans, although it is a very generic stock image. But let's go through our criteria one at a time here. Criteria number 1, positioning and clarity. Again, another all-in-one EHR and practice management software. Looks like this is a competitor of CompuLink, our last site. You're great at providing top quality care. We're great at helping you do that. Our specialty-specific EHR PM platforms are seeing need. We've appreciated mind, flexible workflows, 10 of customer support, and 20 years of experience. Okay, so this is already off the rip a lot better than CompuLink. We have some backstory into the company. There's some copy that can resonate with the visitors. And although it is very dreamy and I would say not very specific copy, we are at least told what the company does and who they serve. Next up is trust and credibility. As I scroll through this homepage, I have one testimonial right here, and this is just one small testimonial with a lot of black real estate. We only have one testimonial. They do a good job of keeping it short, but I would rather make this a full section in order to increase the compelling nature of it. When it's just one small section in this big empty section like this, it looks like they only have one person who could speak positively of them, and it doesn't do great for social proof. So I would either redesign this section to be more compelling or move it up further on a page so that way they have some compelling assets to their site that are convincing to new visitors. They have resources, services, and products. So they actually have a product page, whereas the last one did not. They have all these linked in the nav. Just a lot more clean. So I already feel like they're directly addressing better. And here they actually have copy that addresses each of their specialty practice solutions. So I like that a lot more. They have some good social proof here with some certification logos. One thing I did want to call out here, they have this cookie consent modal right here. And I was doing a little bit of digging, and if I hit inspect, a great way to be able to inspect under the hood of any website, you click inspect. I go to the network tab here. If I actually hit refresh, which I do right now, I can actually see all the scripts that are being loaded before opt-in. So if I open that, I can see, and if I go ahead and search, you can tell I've already done this, but if I search Google into the firing tags, this right here, I can actually see a Google Tag Manager script being fired. 200 code means it is live. So this isn't technically a compliant cookie consent form. I don't know why they have it if it's still firing a Google Analytics source code. So that's something to be wary of. They're not going to get deductions for that, but if you're going to have a cookie consent modal, you might as well make it compliant. They do have some branded mockups here, although not great hierarchy. Like this takes up 2/3 of a section. They do have a nice blue generic stock photos. I'm really not a fan of this, guys. I wouldn't put this in a higher category than the CompuLink site. So again, another 5 out of 10 on design. Very middle of the pack, very forgetful, very forgettable. Not a huge fan. You're going to be better than the last one, but again, you're not setting the standard. So I'm going to put them middle to lower the pack, C tier. Okay, next up, we have a company called ClinicSource. All right, so now I'm not going to be biased towards an outdated looking website. That may take a few points off when it comes to overall design and the rankings on that category. But to be honest with you guys, old websites still work. And I'm not going to just look at an old outdated website and dismiss it entirely. So although this does look very old, I'm going to break it down into these other categories here. So simplify your therapy practice. Discover ClinicSource, the incredibly easy to use therapy, EMR, and management practice solution. Honestly, I think that's a much better positioning statement. I'm not sure why it says discover ClinicSource. They could just easily say, we create incredibly easy to use therapy and not just, shout out their name and their subheadline. It's kind of a waste of text there. Practical things to improve. A very stocky image here. I'm not a huge fan of just having, stock imagery. No social proof, also no CTA above the fold here. Having one CTA, I know they have this requested demo right here, but I would generally prefer to have one in the hero section as well. To me, this isn't overly clear that this is a play for a video because it doesn't appear like a modal, so that's not a great UX. Obviously, if you click on it, you're going to get onboarded to a video here, but we need more social proof. And with these testimonials, in order to make them better, they have really good testimonials. Include a headshot, include a link back to a third-party source, include the company logos of these people. Just text, although they did a great job of making it nice and short, pulling out the most powerful tidbits of those testimonials. I would like them to be a little bit more reinforcing and actually make them come from humans. In terms of navigation, I love how descriptive these nav links are. Therapy EMR features, therapy practice types. Well, a lot of companies, what you see them do is they'll just put features, types, services. I really like how they're descriptive, and now I know that when I hover over these, I know what I'm going to be getting. So it's really helpful as a user. All that above the fold. A nice on-brand graphic here. It's a little confusing to me, like why they have them segmented by different colors, but it's confusing to me why they aren't next to the colors that they're advertising. So the purple one is here, and yet the therapy billing is over here. They should rotate that, but not bad. They have their types or their persona pages here. I imagine each of these links to these actually don't link to individual pages. Interesting. And then we have a nice blue section here. So in terms of design, that's going to take a few points off of just their score because it's not a great design. Look at it on a mobile resolution here. Good stacking, good formatting. This is a beef that I have. Okay, so these logos right here, if they do not link back to third-party sources, they don't mean anything. These other ones right here do. Drummond certified, security metrics, ICD-10, HIPAA compliant. What does that mean? There is no HIPAA compliant website, okay? This doesn't even link back to a third-party source. It's not an official badge. It's not descriptive. So the website itself is not HIPAA compliant. I don't know why. It's my biggest beef when companies have those on there. But yeah, not a huge fan of these designs. Even if I go throughout the pages, it does look very dated, as I said in the beginning, so not a huge fan of that. Now, how does this affect their overall ranking? Okay, ClinicSource. Very outdated, but actually very good website, best practices. And because that is important, I'm going to put them in B tier. I'm telling you, if they had good performance optimization, if they had a really nice design, they would be higher up on this list. Next company on the list, CradleMRx. Home healthcare software made easy. Do more for your patients without doing more at the office. Request a demo. I have to say, from a design standpoint, this is definitely the best one that we've looked at so far. It has a nice image, although it is stock. It's got color treatment done to make it look more on brand with the green and pink. I'm not a huge fan of that palette to begin with, but it passes contrast ratios. It works. One thing I will say, they could have more social proof above the fold here. If we look at their site stack of semantic information, a little out of order on their canonicalized headings right here. So a bit of work to be done under the hood. They have their phone number tagged as a heading. That's not great. Yeah, they need to do some retagging on these headings here. A nice mock-up. We see our A/B test that showing products increases conversion. So taking visitors inside what the software looks like, so that way they know it's a real thing that they're working with. Features, they could be a lot more descriptive with these nav links here, kind of like our friends at ClinicSource. They go to features. Oh, yeah. So a lot of opportunities for improvement here. Simple mock-up for each of these features that they're advertising. Some descriptive copy, even if you want to have everything in a segmented list like this. Adding tooltips that explain it better. Again, no backlinks on this website or on this page at all to third-party sources. Really good opportunity to link to the Medicaid website, the Medicare website right here. Linked to the survey providers on this one right here. So just a lot of really good opportunities to increase domain authority by adding backlinks. Also, a non-existent blog. You can tell if the site hasn't been looked at in a while. And if I'm a visitor coming to your website and I see that you haven't published content in a long time, that's a deterioration of social proof, which you don't have any of to begin with. I don't trust this company because I don't see other people that are like me getting the outcomes that I want through the software. No matter how good the design, no matter how modern the mockups are, it still looks outdated. Okay, CradleMRx, sorry guys, you had me in the beginning with the design, but overall not impressed. You're going to D tier. Next company on the list, Alora Home Healthcare Software. And I gotta tell you guys, just above the fold here, I'm getting a lot of Windows 95 vibes, and that just is not intentional. We have a lot of colors here, not a lot of great branding. Random orange CTAs, so I'm not seeing orange anywhere else on the site, but you decided to reserve that for the CTAs. Social proof, trust signals, really good number section here in terms of data. I don't like the gray background there. But in terms of positioning, okay, horrible above the fold right here. So a sliding hero section. How am I supposed to know who you are, what you serve, what's in it for me, if that message is changing over and over again? If you are a marketer and you run your website, never have a sliding hero component to your website. Just absolutely not. You cannot change your value prop. You cannot change your messaging. I will go to the grave saying that. Hero slider, big deduction on points for Alora. Again, implementation is simple with Alora's easy switch. Again, these are all images. These don't even have HTML attributes. You can't make these headings. So if I look under here, we have way too long of a meta description. Multiple H1s on the website. Big tax right there. Thrive with home healthcare. What's the other H1? Thrive with Alora home health software. So you can't have multiple H1s on the website. Not great from a search perspective. Why can't we use the opportunity to be more specific here? If we hold this drop down, the only people that use the word solutions on a website are people that are trying to sell us stuff. Words to live by. So home care software. So a great example, software solutions. Now I know that at the other side of this drop down, I'm getting software solutions. Thrive with Alora home health software. So this is basically a bento section. Again, I don't want to hide descriptive text underneath a hover. So just have the icon, have the headline, and then have the text be there. Don't reveal it on hover. Request more information. Talk about the most generic CTA text ever. I'm not a big fan of that. Pricing. I think this is the only website we've reviewed so far that actually has pricing. And, okay, another deduction right here. So if you send me to a pricing page and you don't have pricing on the website, I hate you. You put this pricing in your navigation, you're sending traffic there intentionally, and you don't even reveal pricing once you get there. It's behind a form, it's behind a demo. That's just misleading. And as a user, I don't like that. Not a big fan of the design. A little bit of social proof with these organization links here in the bottom. If we take a look at their blog to see how active they are with content. They have a resource here above the fold. That's a good thing to have. An updated blog section, so not terrible there. All in all, Alora Healthcare, very misleading website, very dated, not a great design, not great positioning. I'm going to actually put that in F tier, so sorry guys, that feels a little bit mean, but we have to hold the standard here. That's not going to cut it. Okay, next up is MedStripes. Okay, so instantly we have a very dated impression here. Again, Windows 95-esque look. This looks almost unintentional, so I feel like this was maybe an old hero section where they didn't remove the background to very stock, not high resolution. And then I have another hero section below it with the lady's head cut off. Not off to a great start, and then we have orange when the logo is red, or maybe that's definitely red. So some confusing design decisions here. Nice little navigation. Mega menu drop down. Not very descriptive though. The images don't do a lot of the talking. We need to have some kind of descriptor here. But all in all, it's pretty accessible. I can pass for that. On the home page, so home health EMR software features. Not bad. If we just look at the positioning, so home health EMR, A home healthcare software designed by clinicians with powerful documentation at the point of care to ensure accuracy and compliance. This system can help you manage risk, drive growth, and optimize. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of jargon there. I'm not convinced, and again, I'm not seeing any social proof on this page whatsoever, and then a random ass blue gradient. This is getting a 0 on design. Like, this is just atrocious. A random CTA, lack of consistency, an actual good hero section here, and then a random yellow CTA. Like, what are we doing? What is going on, guys? Come on. Power your life with an intelligent EMR solution. MedStripes platform can contain design. Let's check responsiveness. But here, okay, not terrible. Look at the hero section. Yeah, this is why. So they have a different hero section on mobile as they do on desktop. Now it's just totally different. Why did I just get a cached version of the website? Okay, this is interesting. So now I'm seeing a totally different homepage. Okay, I'm so confused. We're just gonna proceed because a lot of the elements are, there's a few elements that are the same, like this at the bottom. That was weird. Okay. Making healthcare management simple, revolutionizing enterprise level software system, revolutioning enterprise level software system for post-acute care. Again, no social proof. Request a demo, not a great CTA. I'm not impressed, sorry. That really took me aback when it changed there. But if we look at the semantic technical information here, missing meta description, that's a tax. No H1 on the website. What are we doing, guys? Yeah, so all in all, definitely not impressed, but I don't think it's the worst one we've seen. A little bit of improvements here with the branding. Now that we don't have random yellow CTAs on the website, so I'm not sure what changed there, but it's better than the last time I saw it. All right, MedStripes, still not impressed. You technically got 2 chances there, but you're going into D tier. Can't overlook the technical mistakes there, and the design is just not impressive, so D tier it is. Okay, next up we have TK Software. Whoa. Holy balls. Okay. Okay, so we don't have a logo, so we're not off to a great start. Introducing Iconic Scheduling. TK Software is proud to announce the release of Iconic Scheduling, a web-based patient scheduling system built for... Okay, so there's some actual good best practice here. I'm not a fan of whatever the hell I'm seeing here. But just take away the positives so we can try and be helpful and informative. Really bad headline, introducing Iconic Scheduling. You're not leading with an outcome. We've got a good list of features here, so things that I care about. And we got a clear CTA, see Iconic Scheduling. So it looks like someone dropped this in as like some kind of an announcement banner, just terribly designed. Looking at the navigation, who we are. Okay, if you have a who we are section and you put in a stock image, just not a great signal there. So not impressed, not trustworthy, no social proof. Like what is it with healthcare software companies and showing social proof? Is that like taboo to do that? I'm not understanding what's going on here. Okay, testimonials. So a good lesson. Here we go. Here's social proof. Again, make these shorter. Pull out the most prominent pull quotes, and don't bury them behind scrolls or some kind of interaction. Also, put headshots of the actual people on here and put their actual names on here. For all I know, these could be generated with AI. I guarantee you that's what your customers are thinking. Also, move these up higher on the page. And don't bury them behind a click on the navigation, dude. A lot of stock images for their features and their benefits. And then just a whole wall of text here with a dark contrasted footer. So I have not been impressed by this entire list. I'm coming into these cold, seeing them for the first time, like I said. So again, the bar is just falling lower and lower at this point, to be honest with you. TK Software, F tier. Next up. PracticeStudio.net. Oh boy. Okay, you triggered me again. We have another sliding hero section. I can only analyze one of these, so God, dude, I can't even. So let's just do this one. Family owned since 1989. Best in class for 37 years. Can your EHR say that? We have been building practice management software since 1989, not because we were acquired, but because we pivoted. Not because we pivoted, because we are good at it. Okay, I like the messaging there, a little bit AI sloppy with the M dashes. But I would say in a competitive space like this, it is good to differentiate based on credibility. So I do like the angle. I just don't think it's executed very well within that headline. Also, we want to have some kind of asset here, increase dwell time above the fold. In terms of navigation, not bad. Descriptive, AI pricing. Check out their pricing page. Talk to us about pricing. Again, don't have a pricing page on your website if you're not going to reveal pricing. Let's look at the rest of their homepage here before we make a quick judgment. Good features section. I'm on board with this. Good descriptive text there. Not a lot of variation in the layouts. Seems like we had a marketing hire that wanted to really show the board that AI is a priority. In terms of design, I'm just not overly thrilled about this. Very generic, very basic. Not a whole lot of originality or brand implemented here. Also slightly confusing in the fact that the logo in the top doesn't match the logo in the bottom. I'm not sure if this is some kind of an acquisition angle going on here. But technically speaking, let's take a look at the site. It's okay. No H1, big red flag there. Images, 12 without alt text. That's not a huge deal. Social, no opening graph image. Not great there either. Not a huge fan of having social links up here at the top of the navigation. We already work so hard to get traffic to our website. Why would we try and divert it back to social? Not a huge fan of emphasizing those links. But yeah. So select discipline. What's this? Interesting. So this should take me to a different version of the site based on which discipline I select. Or just load for ages and ages and not take me anywhere. Interesting too. Oh. Yeah, that's going to be not good for your score either. All right, Practice Studio, your boy has seen enough. You are going to C tier. Better than MedStripes and better than some of the other ones on here. Overall, still not impressed. Man, I almost get depressed when I see too many bad websites. The web is a beautiful place. Come on, we got 2 more companies left. I want to see some good stuff. Okay, website number 9, PrognoCIS. I see what you did there. Interesting name. By Bismatic to Division of Harris. Wow, this is just a ton of say you've been acquired without say you're being acquired. Okay, above the fold, nice stock image. Medical office software designed for multi-provider workflows. AI-powered, buzzword right there. AI-powered EHR built to simplify charting, scheduling, and boost revenue. So a few ideas right here. Actually, they are the only ones to have social proof above the fold. So although the bar is low, they have surpassed it. A lot of buzzwords here in the hero section. Medical office software designed for multi-provider workflows. That is descriptive, so I won't penalize them, but an AI-powered EHR built to simplify charting, scheduling, and boost revenue. That's just a lot of jargon. A good prompt, if you're looking for copy on your website, take what you think it is and write it in 6th grade language. I promise you, your investors, your board, whoever is looking at marketing on this website is not impressed by this lingo. And if they are, that's not your North Star of success. In terms of the navigation, resources, company, solutions, again, I hate that. So be more descriptive with this nav link. We have different solutions pages, different persona pages. I like that. I like the who we serve link. Very nice. Good recognition section. Make this even better. Have them link back to another page on these websites. They're also kind of small, so I can't see a lot of details in terms of where they're from. Awesome testimonial section. Okay, this is an outdated design, but it's got a lot of the bones here. We got a lot to work with. I'm actually starting to get a little bit excited now. A nice mock-up, again, showing product imagery, a big positive. One thing I would like to see, good FAQs that open on good, very nice. And then an on-page conversion event. Yes, we're seeing some good bones here, okay? This is actually nice. Again, design is not the greatest. A suggestion here on design, make one of these CTAs that you're trying to emphasize, make the background, the contrast color, and the text white. So that way there's a little bit of differentiation. Good features with headlines and actual supportive copy. Let's take a look at the semantic information. Really nice, dense H2s and H3s. Very nice. A lot of interlinking activity going on that page. Let's take a look at their heading structure. Very well. Good descriptive H1, as you can see. Yeah, images, alt text, just 3 images, not alt text. Really good. Really foundationally well built. Let's check. I don't like how this chatbot automatically opens on page load. So that's not a great user experience. I didn't get a cookie consent modal. So I go to network and refresh again, see what's firing. Such a man. Okay, none of these that I'm seeing are tracking scripts. No, that's not a tracking script. Just images, JavaScript. Not bad. All right, this is by far the best one yet. Social proof, respectable design. Again, not great, but it has all the bones there. With a redesign, this could be one of the best medical EHR software websites in the entire industry. So there's a lot of opportunity here. What are we going to rank it though? PrognoCIS, I'm very impressed. Great social proof, good aesthetics, good all around. I'm going to give you guys into the A tier. By far the best one yet. I'm not going to lie. Last website on the list, MedEZ or MedEZ. Okay, on first impressions here, not bad. We've got a lot of blue going on here. This image cutout to me is an impressive attempt at trying to be branded, although for your PG-13 visitors in the audience might not know what that is. I think that's supposed to be a brain, but I don't want to make assumptions. Obviously, it is an AI generated looking. It may not be, but it looks AI generated. Okay, a headline and supporting copy. Behavioral EHR, the original, the innovator, the better than ever. Now better than ever. A comprehensive all-in-one behavioral health software and patient management software solution, customer-focused and technology-driven to streamline and automate. Oh my God. Okay, I thought the other one was bad on Jargon. This is a very Jargon-heavy website. Also, main CTA, read more. If your CTA has to be read more, you can't make your messaging succinct enough to fit in one H1 and subheadline. You've got some work to do. Again, no social proof here above the fold. Take a look at the navigation. Solutions, again, not a fan of that. Broad, unsubstantiated language. Be specific. What kind of solutions? Behavioral solutions. Boom. All that would fit under here. Impact, a little stock imagery. Just kind of nice. It's on brand. Empowering behavioral health. Empowering is a big buzzword. Again, read more. Okay, some good feature sets here. I would recommend not overloading one side from a design standpoint, not overloading one side of a layout to where there's all this negative space right here. MedEZ powers digital transformations. So much jargon. Man, I am just blown away. They get a few design points because they have a structured layout that is not templated. You can tell it's a custom website. But these backgrounds here, that does add a little bit of design value. Let's see, let's see their about page. I haven't opened an about page yet on this. Not bad. Again, add headshots for your testimonials. That would be much better. But that's probably the best designed website so far of the 10. Good testimony. They do have social proof that needs to be put higher. Some nice AI generated images. Good logos. Put those up a little bit higher too. Let's see our accreditations. Again, they all link back to third-party sources. Well done. I'm actually not terribly upset by this website. Again, a lot of opportunity for improvement here. Let's look underneath the hood. Network, refresh, hardfire the page, block tracking scripts. Yep, good. So yeah, I'm not offended by this design. A good amount of opportunities for improvement when it comes to the messaging and positioning, but not a terrible way to close out. MedEZ, closing out, not strong. Not the best for last, unfortunately, but we did have some really good design elements in there. Again, just so much jargon, stock imagery, but you did have some decent design elements to your site. I'm going to put you in the tier with ClinicSource. So Again, a little bit higher, but again, the standards were so low in this video, I don't have a lot of positioning and able to move you any higher. All right, so that is going to wrap up our 10 websites in healthcare that we are ranking. Let me know, did I make any mistakes? Did you think one of them was better? Or if you're in line with my thinking at all, a lot of these were pretty bad. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss part 2 of this video where I go in and redesign the worst website. Alora or TK Software. I'm going to be redesigning that website and making a video about that. Thank you guys for checking out the channel. Make sure you check out the links below. Subscribe. Again, my name is Andy. I'm the founder at MMG Studio. Healthcare websites are all we do. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Stay tuned for part 2. See you next time.